Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And welcome. We're so happy to see you tonight. Welcome to our service here at Temple Shalom Emeth. And looking very forward tonight to a wonderful talk given by our guest, Aaron Fox, talking to us about the World Zionist Organization Congress. Great. So we're looking forward to that. And sort of with that in mind, I have a song that I'd like to start off with, which I hope you will join me in singing. It's the first one on the page in your song sheets, a song by Jeff Klepper, a song with a very good message, I think, called We Are Partners. We are partners in the work of creation. We are partners, and the work goes on. We are partners in a world filled with wonder. We are partners, and the world goes on. God was thinking of a new creation up to the moment that the world began. Into the silence, a word was spoken. God needed partners to complete the plan. We are partners in the work of creation. We are partners, and the work goes on. We are partners in a world filled with wonder. We are partners, and the world goes on. There's a melody that's deep within us. There's a Torah written in our hearts. Every moment is a new creation. Every blessing is a holy spark. Together, we are partners in the work of creation. We are partners, and the work goes on. We are partners in a world filled with wonder. We are partners, and the world goes on. Great. Thank you for singing with me a little bit. Let's do a song which is more familiar to us. However, we might do a version which is a little bit different, just for fun. On the next page, the song is Emeth. And this is a version that I heard from a group called Boy Chicks in the Mood. And I really actually used to like them quite a bit. And it's kind of a reggae version. So you'll certainly be able to sing along with the chorus, and then there's a verse, an added verse to it too.
Feel free to shake along.
Yeah, shake along, absolutely. Made for shaking. Hello, Eileen. Here we go. Enemato, umanai, shebetachim, gam yachad. Enemato, umanai, shebetachim, gam yachad. How good and pleasant, you know that it would be for people to live in love and harmony. How good and pleasant, you know that it would be for brothers and sisters to live in harmony. Everyone. Enemato, umanai, shebetachim, gam yachad, enemato, umanai, shebetachim, gam yachad. Have that verse. How good and pleasant, you know that it would be for people to live in love and harmony. How good and pleasant, you know that it would be for brothers and sisters to live in harmony. Enemato, umanai, Good ending.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, one more? All right. Let's look at the right side of that booklet and we'll sing a song that we do a little more often here. Shir Chadash, which means a new song. It's also sometimes called Shiru Ladonai. There we go. You may shake along with this one too. It's a little slower, but see what you're shaking. Shiru Ladonai. Ladonai, Shir Kadai, Shir Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shir Ladonai, Shir Kadai. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Kadash. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Kadash. I will sing a new song unto God.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Great to see you all here. Another difficult week for us, but that's why we have Shabbat, to forget our worries and to just be in a safe space with our community and to just think about all the positives in our world and in life. So with that, we're going to begin our service by opening the doors of the Ark and the Ark curtain. So I wanted to invite Layla and Danny to come on up to open the Ark curtain and doors for us. Please rise in body or spirit. Oh yeah, and David too. He's become an afterthought now. Good job. You gonna put on the curtain now? Pull it down. Hold hard. Keep going. Again.
את מכירה את ההורים?
Wow. Good job. Can you put this on your hand?
איפה האמא?
Good job. You're not gonna pull the toilet out. Okay, let's pull the string down now. Pull the string out again to close it. Wanna pull it down?
Right here.
Pull the string. Good job. Do it again one more time. Great job. Wow. Now you guys stay up here. Please be seated. And we're going to continue our service with the lighting of the Shabbat candles, which you may find on page 120 and 121. Anna, why don't you come on up, since you're sponsoring, in honor of you guys sponsoring the Oneg, and Layla and Danny will help you light the Shabbat candles. Oh, and David too.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotov, v'tzivanu l'chadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. It's the trick candles again.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel
Thank you.
I should sit down, you should stay here.
And now that we've welcomed the light of Shabbat, we're going to continue by singing L'chadodi, welcoming the Shabbat bride, which you may find on pages 138 and 139.
Please join in with your voices and your shakers. We'll do a contemporary version of L'chadodi. L'chadodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת לקבלה. l'chadodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת לקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, בשם ותפארת ולתהילה. l'chadodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת לקבלה. l'chadodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת לקבלה. Verse 5. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בעורף קומי אורי. אורי, אורי, תדברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך בגלל. l'chadodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת לקבלה. l'chadodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת לקבלה. Last verse. בואי בשלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה צהולה, טוב אמוני סגולה. בואי כלה, בואי כלה, l'chadodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת לקבלה. l'chadodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת לקבלה. בני שבת לקבלה.
Now that we've welcomed the Shabbat bride as well, we're going to continue with the next section of our service called the Shema U'Birchoteha, the Shema and its blessings. And we turn to page 146 and rise to recite the Baruch Hu, our call to worship in body or spirit. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due, now and forever.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Le'olam Va'ed.
Page 148. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Asher Bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim, B'chochma Poteach She'arim, Uvitvuna Mishaneh Itim, Umachalif et Hazmanim, Umasader et HaKochavim, B'mishmerotehem Barakia Kirtzono, Borei Yom V'Layla, Golil Or Mipnei Choshech, V'Choshech Mipnei Or, Uma'avir Yom U'Mevi Layla, Umavdil Ben Yom U'Bein Layla, Adonai Tzvaot Shemo, El Chai V'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu L'Olam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai HaMa'ariv Aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. Page 150.
Ahavat Olam B'Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Amcha Ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu lemadita, Otanu lemadita. Alkein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachvenu u'kumenu nasiach b'chukecha, v'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki im chayinu v'yorech yameinu uvahem nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla. V'yahavatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Ohev amo Yisrael.
Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. We continue on pages 152 and 153. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. You may be seated. Please join me on the next page, page 154, as we chant the V'ahavta. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'eleh אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, ושבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לעוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Together, you shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God, Adonai Elohechem Emeth. Now we continue on page 158 with the singing of Micha, the song the Israelites sang when they crossed the Red Sea to freedom from Pharaoh's grip.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, ואלי ענו ויאמרו, ואלי ענו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praise to you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Continue on page 160 with the singing of Hashkivenu, asking God to create a shelter of peace around us, which we all, again, very desperately need this week.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרינו בחיים, השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרינו בחיים.
Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. I'll continue on page 162 with Vishamru. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidoratam b'ritolah. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidoratam b'ritolah. B'nei Yisrael, Ohodi la'olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidoratam b'ritolah. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidoratam b'ritolah. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidoratam b'ritolah.
And now we continue the next section of our service called the Tefillah, which means the prayer, on page 164. Please rise in body or spirit.
Anananananana Adonai, Anananananana Batai Tifta, Anananananana Ufiyagi Tehilateha. 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 Page 166. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Page 168. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נוטים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, לחיי הכל. Page 170. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
We remain standing as I call Shalva up to do a special prayer for the state of Israel on page 552.
אבינו שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו, ברך את מדינת ישראל, ראשית צמיחת גאולתנו. הגן עליה בעברת חסדיך, ופרוס עליה סוכת שלומך, ושלח אורך ועמיתך לראשיה, שריה ויועציה, ותקנם בעצה טובה מלפניך, ונתת שלום בארץ, ושמחת עולם ליושביה, ונאמר Amen.
Together, O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. Please be seated. Continue on page 178 with singing of Shalom Rav, a song for peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tassim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tassim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tassim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tassim Leolam. V'tov b'einecha לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה לשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם, תשים לעולם, תשים לעולם.
Grant abundant peace to Israel, your people forever, for you are the sovereign God of all peace. May it be pleasing to you to bless your people Israel in every season and moment with your peace. Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael, Shalom. I'll continue with a special prayer for the welfare and return of Israel's remaining captured and missing. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah, Yaakov, Leah and Rachel, may God bless the captured and the kidnapped citizens, men and women held in painful captivity in Gaza among them, along with all who are in captivity and distress. May it be your will, Adonai Tzvaot, God of hosts, to rescue and redeem these souls and return them swiftly to their families in the land of Israel. As it is written, thus said God, a cry is heard in Ramah, wailing, bitter weeping, Rachel weeping for her children. She refuses to be comforted. We now continue with the Misha Beirach Get Well prayer on page 371. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. This time, if you have names of those you'd like us to remember, you can say their names aloud in your hearts or out loud as I look across the room.
What did it?
Errol Johnston, Declan Lyons.
Daryl
Joel.
Lippman. Oh, go ahead.
Joel Trouvé.
Daryl Lippman, Sharon Lippman.
Galia Campali.
We think of all of those who are suffering in Israel, all of those who are suffering in our country, all of those innocent victims around the Middle East who are suffering, as well as in Ukraine. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send all of them a complete renewal of body and spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Mi sheberach avotinu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha la'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We pause for a moment of silent prayer. Now we turn back to page 180 with the singing of Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom, Bimro Shabbat Shalom again, everybody. Great to see you all here. So a couple of weeks ago, Arlene Lieberman emailed me and said that there is somebody in her office who she thinks would be interested in coming to the temple to tell us about the World Zionist Congress. And then I corresponded with Aaron a little bit, and he said maybe he could come to an Oneg Shabbat and have like a table in the social hall for when everybody was walking around. And I thought, he doesn't quite get the size of our congregation. we don't have like a large group of walking around to different tables at the Oneg Shabbat, but I thought I can do even better than that. I can offer him to put his money where his mouth is and be our speaker for the evening. So Aaron, it's wonderful to have you here. And the World Zionist Congress is generally something that is kind of one step removed from where we all are as Jews in our understanding of what's happening in the American versus Israel and worldwide Jewish community. So I think it'll be really interesting for us to learn from him what it's all about and what our role can be in it. So Aaron, the other reason why I was excited about having you here is that my son's name is Aaron. So figured once I heard your name was Aaron, you were in. So come on up.
Good evening, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. In 1897, the World Zionist Congress was established as a means to give diaspora Jews a voice as to what goes on with the money that was being raised to fund the pre-state Jewish society in Israel. When the state was founded in 1948, world Jews demanded that the World Zionist Congress remain a vessel for us to have our voices heard. It was largely our dollars that funded the creation of the Jewish state, and so it was essential that we were involved in policy and in spending decisions that happened in Israel. So every 5 years, the World Zionist Congress polls Jews around the world. We all vote for a slate, and the slate's job is to go to the Congress and form a coalition. 10 years ago, the Reform Jewish slate was able to make massive strides in securing funding for our reform movement on the ground. That's money that goes to helping underserved communities in Israel, into allowing the reform movement to grow and expand and recruit in Israel. And 5 years ago, the reform movement was able to turn out even more voters than it did in 2015, but the size of the pie was enlarged because the Orthodox communities mobilized. Over the last 10 years, again, like I said, the reform movement has made massive strides in Israel, enabling women to become clergy and to practice. They have made massive strides in securing the right to marriage. There's no civil marriage in Israel, so the rights of Reform Jews to get married, or the rights for interfaith couples to be married in Israel, are on the line here. The rights of LGBTQ plus citizens to practice, pray, and be themselves in the land of Israel, those rights are on the line. And policy to do with where the JNF-KKL, the People's Bank of Israel, buys land, those policy decisions are on the line as well. It is important more now than ever that we turn out and we vote in this election. Voting starts on March 10th. It goes to May 4th. And ARZA and the Religious Action Center and the URJ are mobilizing as many Reform Jews as we can to go to the polls. I know we're all tired of hearing about elections right now, but this is one that is really important for our Reform Jewish community. It's time for us to double down on our investment in Israel. It is time for us to make sure that Israel's leaders know that we are not going anywhere, that we are Reform Jews and we are proud of it. This money that is on the line is to the tune of $1.2 billion. This is not chump change we're talking about. This is real money that will go towards funding our reform values on the ground in Israel. What else should I say to you? It costs $5 to vote. I don't want you guys to be surprised if you go looking to vote and you see, but no representation without taxation. I know I said that backwards, but let's see. I'd love to take any questions. Yeah, please.
Can anybody vote? Is there a registration process?
It is anyone who is 18 and up, who is a member of the Jewish community, and you have to subscribe to some basic tenets that they lay out, which is essentially the belief in some core Zionist values that Jews have the right to self-determination in the land of Israel. There are some more progressive slates that are involved in the World Zionist Congress. They weren't previously allowed to organize, and they've been given the right to organize. There might be some more progressive anti-Zionist slates. ARZA, who I'm here on behalf of, is a Zionist slate. We are Reform Zionists, progressive Zionists, aspirational Zionists, and we, again, it's like I said, we need to double down on our investment in Israel, and we need our community to turn up to this election. So, yeah, please.
Two questions related. Where and how do we vote, and where do we get the information about the slates?
So information about the slates can all be found on ARZA's website. They have resources, as well as the World Zionist Congress website. Voting happens electronically. Part of the $5 that it costs goes towards several of the cybersecurity measures that go into making sure that people don't pay for bots to buy the election. It also is not a publicly funded, or it is a publicly funded election, I should say. So it's not state funded or municipal money that's going into this. So our $5 does count here to help run it. And I will be around and happy to give out my cell phone number and my email to share more resources with you all. There are QR codes and links for when voting starts that I will make sure that your clergy has to pass out to you all. And hopefully we can organize some more. If anybody's interested in organizing further in the community, I would love to get more involved. And you might not have a big crowd on Shabbats, but that's all right. You know, every single vote counts. If anybody's interested in tabling during religious school to get parents involved, even just reaching out to Jews in your life who you know who are interested in social action and tikkun olam, this is a big one. Please.
So if you know the URL, you could recite it, because I mean there might be people who are at home who can.
Yeah, I don't know the URL off the top of my head. I wish I did. I'm sorry. Yeah. Please.
How did you get involved?
Many of you don't recognize me. I'm a Reformed Jewish kid from the South Shore of Massachusetts. I studied abroad my junior year of high school on a program called Heller High. I did 4 months in Israel, and then I went to Boston University, where I graduated with a degree in political science and a minor in Jewish studies, hence the World Zionist Congress. It's right up my alley. I got involved because I was scrolling Instagram one day and I saw information about the World Zionist Congress, and I said, this seems like a good time for me to get involved, and they just so happened to have canvassing opportunities, and here I am. Please.
How do you define a modern day Zionist?
That is a great question.
I don't know the answer.
I'm not sure I do either. I think that the answer I'll give you is that there's no one answer. How's that? There's a book called The Fragile Dialogue, and that's a collection of essays from Reform thought leaders, and they point towards the need for a very nuanced unpacking of what Zionism is. From the start, there was political Zionism, environmental Zionism, spiritual Zionism, revisionist Zionism. There's such a nuanced history here, and there's no one answer for you. But for me, Zionism is aspirational. Zionism is pluralist. Zionism is progressive, and I think that we can encourage those values in Israel as well.
I have a couple.
Yeah, please.
So, can you tell us about some of the different groups that make up the Zionist Congress, and well, take that one first.
Yeah. So there's, like I mentioned, there's very progressive slates. So J Street, I believe you've heard of J Street, Jewish Voice for Peace. They're going to have their own slates. ARZA is the major slate for the reform movement. That's the, I think it's, what is it? Oh man, why am I blanking? Reform Zionists of America, and the global slate is ARZA. So there will be a slate, and that's who I'm here on behalf of. There's a conservative slate that is liberal enough to be in a coalition with ARZA and with some of our other progressive slates. And then there's a Haredi slate, and there's some more orthodox sort of Israel first slates that are committed to more revisionist Zionist sort of terms.
So is there like a president, or are there like a board, or who exactly is elected?
So the way it works is there's, I think, 530 something seats at the Congress. We all turn up and we vote. They assign seats based on who takes a share of the pie. Then the slates are given the opportunity to form a coalition. Whoever forms the majority coalition. It's similar to the way that Parliament works, or the Knesset works, if you're familiar. And whoever the majority coalition is determines who sits on boards for the JNF KKL, like I mentioned earlier, the People's Agency for Israel that is in charge of sending emissaries out. So when we think of like counselors at our summer camps who come from Israel and teach our kids wonderful things about Israeli culture, dance, song, food, all of those wonderful things, those counselors are not going to get sent to reform camps anymore if we do not turn out. The far right sort of coalitions are trying to walk back a lot of the progress that we've made in this last election. This isn't necessarily about changing Israel. This is about keeping the progress that we have made over the last decade and ensuring that, like I mentioned before, women's rights to become clergy, our rights to marriage in Israel, those things don't get taken away. Our rights to practice, us receiving funding from municipal governments for reform synagogues, those sorts of things are being challenged right now on this stage. And so it's important that we stand up and we use our voices to say, no, we need to keep these things in place.
Sorry, I'm just going to ask a few more questions. So Jewish Voice for Peace is kind of an anti-Zionist group. So what are they trying to advocate for in this?
I would imagine that their slate is more pluralist. I'm not sure how they define anti-Zionism. I'm not sure if it's something to do with binationalism. I'm not sure if I don't know. I wish I could tell you more. I'm here on behalf of ARZA. I'm pretty adamantly a Zionist. I'm not anti-Zionist. But I don't want to paint their slate in a negative context. But they're further left than ARZA is, for certain.
It's just Jewish Voice for Peace is kind of a misnomer. They're very anti-Zionist.
They are anti-Zionist, yes.
Very, very anti-Zionist. So if you ever hear of Jewish Voice for Peace, it's not a Jewish Voice for Peace. It's just the name that they gave their group. So what influence if any, does the World Zionist Congress have over the Knesset or Israeli policy?
No influence over the Knesset. That's a separate entity. The influence over policy comes in the form of how the People's Bank of Israel spends its money, where the Agency for People in Israel is sending emissaries, like I said before. And so that's where policy decisions are on the line. A big one for me is that the JNF KKL owns 13% of the land in Israel. And there's policy on the line to do with where that land can be purchased. If the JNF KKL is thinking of purchasing more land, there have been attempts to purchase land in the West Bank, and the reform communities of Israel have tried to stop the purchasing of land in the West Bank in Israel to, hold true to our value of a two-state solution and self-determination for the Palestinians in their own state. So that's a big one, and those are the policy decisions on the line.
Any other questions? Well, thank you very, very much. This
My
is
pleasure.
extremely interesting and informative. And who here did not learn something from Aaron tonight? Nobody, everybody learned a
I'm
lot.
glad. I'm glad.
Thank you very, very much. So you'll be around after
I will be here
service?
for ONEG if people have more questions or want to come talk to me one-on-one. I'm happy to give out my number, my email, anything like that if people want to talk and get more involved. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. And it's always extra nice to see somebody in the younger generation being so passionate about their Jewish identity and working on behalf of Israel. So you're a breath of fresh air for all of us. Thank you. Thank you, Arlene, for finding him. We'll give you a finder's fee later. So now we're going to continue with the Elena on page 586. Barak, you want to come on up and open the Ark curtain? Elon, you want to come up too? Open the Ark curtain. Please rise in body or spirit.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו במשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו חורים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Please be seated.
And please join me at the top of page 588.
שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוצר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, קקהתו ותורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, והארץ מתחת, אין עוד.
Page 591, please join me in the V'ne'emar Bayom Hahu, and shake along if you desire.
ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, היום ההוא יהיה אדוני, אחד ושמו אחד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, היום ההוא יהיה אדוני, אחד ושמו אחד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני, אחד ושמו אחד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, היום ההוא יהיה אדוני, אחד ושמו אחד. אחד ושמו אחד. אחד ושמו אחד.
And now we continue on page 599 with the introduction to the Kaddish prayer. We think now of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. We recall Mort David, Mike Rosenberg, and Ariel Bibas, Kfir Bibas, Oded Lifshitz, and the 4 other hostages who are no longer alive, who returned to Israel this week. We think of all of those who have died in this horrible war and the Mideast and in Ukraine, and we add to their names the names of those whose yahrzeit or anniversary of whose deaths occur this week. Harry Fass, Samuel Arnold, Libby Rosenberg, Jacob Wasserman, Danny Kessler, Herman Davis, Zachary Clement. And at this time, if there are names of others you'd like us to keep in our hearts and our minds, we're prepared to recite the Kaddish prayer. You may say the names aloud or in your hearts as I look across the room.
Rose Garone, who is the oldest Holocaust survivor and age 113.
Zichronam Livracha, may all of their memories be for a blessing. We turn to page 598 and rise in body or spirit to recite the Kaddish prayer. Yitgadal, Yitgadash, Shmei Rabbah, V'yalma Divrach Yirutei, V'yamlich Malchutei, V'chayechon V'yomechon, V'chayei D'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala U'bizman Kariv Yimru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Le'olam Olmei Almaya. Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh. V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shmei D'Kudusha B'richu. Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tushbachata V'nechamata Ta'amiran B'yalma V'yimru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shmaya V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'yimru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mamav Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'yimru Amen. May the one who creates harmony and high bring peace to us, to our country, to Israel, to all Israel and all the world, as we say together, Amen. Please be seated. I would now like to call on Val for the announcements.
Thank you. Erin, thank you so much for your really very informative talk. I appreciated it. Well, we have a very busy month coming up. March is very full. First, March 7th, we have a Scout Shabbat. And then on the 8th, there's a Shabbat Yel Aldim. Yeladim. So it's for children 2 to 5, and it's from 9 to 10 in the morning.
And it's fabulous.
Yes, yes. I bet it is.
Rhonda should know.
Rhonda's leading it.
Rhonda's leading. So it's gotta be fabulous. Yes.
How could you go wrong with that combination?
And then on the 14th is our adult Purim Spiel. And the 16th is the Purim Spiel and the Carnival that will be held during religious school, so from 9:30 to noon. And this is jumping a little bit back in the calendar, but on the 3rd is a Tikva meeting at 7 o'clock here, meeting at the temple. And the 21st is I'm particularly looking forward to, because that's the Shabbat service where I'll complete my conversion to Judaism. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I feel the same way. And on March 28th, we have the Beck class leading our service. And Fran isn't here today, but we have the Purim Bag fundraiser going on. So if you could think about donating to that, would be great. Tree of Life leaves are available for donation. And talk to Jess Nussbaum about that. And the Social Justice Committee has some little postings in the announcements. And there are things that you can take 5 minutes and reach out to a senator or various different people that you'd be able to make your voice heard on different political subjects. And lastly, we're still collecting diapers and wipes for immigrant families who are, I'm sure, in more need of them than ever before. And Robin could be the person you could talk to about that. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, thank you very much. We usually don't make people announce their own conversions on the email. Thank you again, Aaron, for doing a really great job. And I know you have a very, very bright future ahead of you. And I wanted to express my condolences to Larry, David, my cousin Larry, whose father died last week. And so I'm glad you're here with us this evening, and our condolences to your whole family. And yeah, so next week we're going to have a ton of kids here from all the Boy Scout and Girl Scout troops from the area, which is like the 9th or 10th time we're doing this. So that's always a lot of a very fun service. And that's going to start at 6:30. 6:30 starting next week. But then the following week, the 14th, so it's hard, we say adult Purim, but that might have other connotations.
Rated R.
It's not rated R. It's the same exact spiel that the kids do on Sunday morning, but we have adults do it Friday evening. So I need quite a lot of people to participate this year, and the temple band will be playing, so anybody in the band already has a role, but we need others to take on other roles as well. I think I need about 10 people to participate in this Purim spiel, so please feel free to see me afterwards. And I may be convincing my cousin Hannah, Larry's daughter. She just took a role in the kids version, but maybe she'll come Friday night and be Queen Vashti then too. So anyway, so thank you all for being here. And by the way, the second night of Passover is April 13th. Is that correct? All right, so
It's a Saturday night, right? Or the second night is a Sunday night.
it's a Sunday night.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll figure it out for next
It
week.
is the 13th.
And Miss Rhonda is gonna be wonderful, is just a blessing for us. And Mr. Ben, Cantor Ben, yes, for our Shabbat Yeladim, which we now have a lot more children in that age group suddenly, so that's wonderful. And so we're now gonna continue on page 122 and 123. Michael, do you wanna come up and lead us in the Kiddush in honor of you guys sponsoring the Oneg? Is David out there?
No, they left.
Oh, they left? All right. Glad we caught them at the beginning. Please rise in body or spirit. Oops.
Which one here? Heaven and the earth? Okay. The heaven and the earth were finished, and all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing. And God created on the seventh day, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kadosho v'ahava uvratzon inchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh b'reishit, ki hu yom tehila l'mikra'e kodesh, zecher l'yetziat mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. אמן. לחיים.
L'chaim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I'd like to invite the children to come on up to hold the hall. They're waiting very anxiously on deck.
Don't hold it higher, bro.
You're holding it with two hands, everybody? Okay, hold it, yeah, because we don't want it to fall over.
What does it keep doing?
I know, why does it keep doing that?
המוציא לחם מן הארץ, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together, as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Thank you very much. Great job. Guys, you want to close the doors of the ark? Barak, you want to come through and close the door of the ark? Please be seated.
And please join in our closing song. It's on the back of your booklets, also on the back of the prayer book, and somewhat which most of you are familiar with.
Shevet.
Contemporary, you may be seated. Al Shlosha Devarim, on three things the world stands. Please shake along to
Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Ha'olam Omed, Al Shlosha Devarim, Ha'olam Omed.
again.
Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Ha'olam Omed, Al Shlosha Devarim. Ha'olam omed, al ha'torah, yal ha'avodah, yal gemilut hatzadim. Al ha'torah, yal ha'avodah, yal gemilut hatzadim. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim, Ha'olam Omed, Al Shlosha Devarim.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.